Not only was I the wife of America's second president, John Adams, but I was also the mother of America's sixth president, John Quincy Adams. My name is Abigail Adams. I had such a free spirit that my grandmother once said, "Wild colts make the best horses," referring to me. Throughout my life, I massively influenced Sean and the other founding fathers with my opinions and intriguing ideas. I also sacrificed to make many other generous contributions during the American Revolution. I was a strong, opinionated child who had an alarmingly free spirit and wished to fulfill my desire to learn and be heard by those around me. I was born Abigail Smith on November 11, 1744, in Weymouth, Massachusetts. My father was William Smith, a minister who not only supported my opinions, but allowed me to speak them. My mother was Elizabeth Quincy Smith. At that time, girls were not permitted to go to school. Thanks to my mother, I still gained a proper education. Along with my three sisters, she taught us at home, instructing us to read and write in both English and French. My father, uncle, and grandfather all had libraries filled with books, so I had an unlimited access. As a child, I had no idea how much my education and opinions would shape our American history. As a young, lively adult, I would face many challenges, including a Revolutionary War, but I would still persevere. When I was 17, I met John Adams, who was 26. While John thought I was too quiet, I thought he was obnoxious and talked too much. Slowly, we fell in love and started preparing for our wedding. We were finally married in 1764 and moved to Braintree to John's family farm. Within only 1 year of our marriage, we had a beautiful bouncing baby girl named Natalie. We lived in Braintree for 10 years and raised a total of 5 children. Since John was a lawyer and one of our founding fathers, he was away from home a lot and was elected to represent the Massachusetts Bay Colony in the Continental Congress in Philadelphia, and later he served as a U.S. ambassador to France. For years, John and I wrote over 1,000 letters to each other during our time apart. I had to educate our children, deal with the finances, and even take care of our farm on my own during John's frequent absences. During the Revolutionary War, I cared for the soldiers, made musket balls from my own silverware, and even let the soldiers train in my yard. One morning, I woke up, peered out my window, and noticed 170 British ships leaving Boston Harbor. America was free from Great Britain. General George Washington had diligently driven them out. America had won the war. Sadly, my biggest challenge was not the war. It was the loneliness I felt when my husband was away, often years at a time, while I was left to raise our children alone. Even after the war, my loneliness and longing carried on for years. As Sean would continue to be called upon to serve in various public offices during the founding of our new nation. Missing my husband dearly, I finally decided to join John in France. He had been there for 5 years as the United States ambassador. After a long journey, I saw my husband for the first time in years. After living in France for a while, we journeyed back home, as John had decided he would run for president against George Washington. He did not win the election, but according to the law, coming in second made him the first vice president of the United States. I continued to express my political thoughts, and unofficially became the vice president's #1 advisor. I was also a strong believer against slavery, and even sent one of my slaves to school. I believed in women's rights and that women and young girls should be able to go to school. These beliefs were highly controversial back then, but that didn't stop me from expressing them. After 8 years of presidency, George Washington's second term was up. My husband ran for president a third time and finally won. While he was in office, I had such a strong influence on him that people started calling me Mrs. President. In 1801, John ran for president again, but lost to Thomas Jefferson. After that, we retired and returned to Braintree for good. By then, I was sick of public life. We lived the last 17 years of our 54-year marriage happily together, until I died peacefully at home on October 28, 1818. I am buried with John at the United First Parish Church in Weymouth, Massachusetts. As a child, I had a very free spirit, and when I was a young woman, I endured a variety of hardships, but I was still able to influence Sean through my frequent letters. I often told him to remember the ladies and the slaves because they too should have the same education and rights in a free country. My letters became some of the earliest writings about women's rights in our U.S. history. Above all, I had never-ending faith in God. So much faith that I believed He carried me through the hardships of my husband being away for so long. History books might say it was the founding fathers who shaped the United States, but I would ask you to respectfully remember the ladies, because it was also shaped by a founding mother, Abigail Adams.
Awesome.